Central Park, New York, skyscrapers. The style would be different. So I also want this would be what my prompt would end with: crepuscular rays, every page to be in a particular color palette. So for example, this is more green.
Okay, pretty cool.
But you know, it's actually it's like a group of friends. I am not that upset about the decision because I'm realistic. It's a very new technology. People are afraid of it. I wouldn't expect. The Copyright Office probably has other things to do, other cases. It's not just me trying to copyright it.
Chris created a graphic novel, a kind of comic book story that includes a text-based story and images. The images were generated using a generative AI called Midjourney. And they were upfront about that, and they submitted it for registration with the Copyright Office, which you don't have to do. Copyright is automatic. You don't have to do that. They likely did that because they were hoping to see if they could get a copyright for AI-generated works. And what the Copyright Office said was, you can't.
Because, you know, this is a very typical thing it would do. I could easily fix it. I think the truth is that it's the first AI-assisted work that got any copyright at all. I've never heard of any other AI-assisted work that was copyrighted. But what they said in the letter is that as a comic book in a whole, the arrangement and my story, because I wrote myself, those things are copyrighted, but every single image by itself aren't. It's called Automatic 1111. It's something that needs a little bit of explanation because this is the name of a famous person of myself. Like, for example, I write a prompt. It's much more difficult to prompt Stable Diffusion than to prompt.
My understanding is that the U.S. Copyright Office is holding the line that creative works need to be created by humans, and that these tools so far don't demonstrate the necessary amount of originality and human work to be eligible for copyright. I think they're holding that line.
Look how cool are those. And sometimes it makes mistakes. Sometimes it's not white dress. But to make it white, you know what you do? You put because it will think, ah, she doesn't care. But look how cool, even my haircut is the same. And this is like my face. The Copyright Office said that it doesn't matter how much effort it takes. It matters how much creativity it takes. So I think the letter we wrote, it shows how much effort it took, but it doesn't show how much creativity. So now I need to focus not how many hours I spent making it and how many images I generated, but I need to focus where I put a drawing, where I could direct it in a way that it wouldn't just be like a slot machine. It's called My Story. Kid, I was bullied and I was told my cheeks are fat. Like, the whole world needs to see my biggest reasons for my.
Chris's argument is, as I understand it, that their prompts, which is how the tool works. So what you do is you tell it what kind of image you want. You describe it in text, and it produces a set of options for you. It kind of immediately produces a set of responses. So if you say, I want an image of a flower, in a pot on a windowsill, it will generate a series of those for you. And you can iterate and describe those increasingly, and it will just keep kind of producing more and more images. Um, the Copyright Office argues that the user doesn't actually have any control over what images it gets. It just asks for those images, and that's not enough. It said in its decision that the process is not controlled by the user because it is not possible to predict what Midjourney will create ahead of time.
Like a mask with flowers coming out of it. And then I can use this drawing to make it. If I would write something like roses, I have maybe chamomiles. And then I can say like sculpture.
Now, did you click it?
It's been a week. I am still very excited about it. The hands go and everything goes. Drawings with your own sketches. You can pose anyone. You can add. Since I copyrighted my first comic book, the AI technology progressed so much that the way I use AI now is quite different from how I used it back in August. Like right now, I take my own photos and I train my models, and then if I take photos like of my face, I can generate AI images of myself. So that's a lot of creativity. So I feel like maybe that is what is going to be copyrightable. I would like to try and copyright my next comic book. You'll find this perfection. You wouldn't see that on Vanity Fair, right? So, like, this is my real photo. Look how perfect I am, because I photoshopped my lines out. And some of them are AI generations that I...
Intellectual property and copyright in particular is how we control and profit from creativity in our society. It's not just US copyright law, it's a global set of laws and treaties. And copyright is negotiated inside all kinds of treaties. It was an issue in the NAFTA agreement. It lives in the Trans-Pacific Partnership and a variety of other treaties. If we break copyright, we will affect our global economy. And so to say that it's a multi-trillion-dollar question is true because every single thing that is copyrighted could potentially be affected. And what we're looking at right now is new tools that can create copyright by the millions by the day. And so that's a game changer. It is literally the definition of disruptive innovation.
Take 15 pictures of myself. Train a model. So people can't even tell which one is real me and which one is not. So what I try to do is to teach and to educate and to tell my friends that it's a revolution. AI is here to stay. Either if I do AI or not, it's going to be here. So if I can teach artists how to use it, maybe they can keep their jobs and take advantage of it.
I think these tools will unlock huge amounts of new creativity and exploration. I think it will allow people who don't have artistic talent to express their vision of creativity in ways that they otherwise couldn't. I think that's a huge deal. I also think there are real questions about the future of art and the role of creativity in our society that is putting computer generated derivative generators up against human artists in ways that we really kind of have to grapple with in terms of the ethics and the legal implications of these tools.
Make it white. You know what you do? You put brackets like this because that let's see. Isn't this great?